squeeze?
That's for you.
What's that? That's just prop?
That's for me.
Prop. For you?
Thanks so much.
I gave you a seat because I know you're hurt.
I ain't hurt that
Go,
bad.
go.
How you guys doing, man?
Good.
Come on, man. Come on, give me a little more than that. How you guys doing?
Good. Better be ready for the playoff game Saturday.
Oh, yeah, I heard second round, right?
Yeah.
Who'd you guys beat last week? Or the first round? Who?
Carteret.
Carteret? They're pretty good, huh? I mean, you guys are pretty good.
Your biggest fans right
All
there.
right.
Nick Mathis.
Nick, how you doing, bud?
He's got your jersey over there. He's ready to go.
Nick is cool. All right. I just wanted to come by, man. My buddy, where's Frankie at, man? Frank, what's up? I see you every week, basically. He asked me to come down and just say hello to you guys, man. Just talk to you a little bit, wish you luck. You guys have a big game coming up. Second round, playoffs. Doesn't get any better than that. I hope we get to see the playoffs and hopefully the second round and the next round in the Super Bowl. But I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about what you're doing and football in general. And I know you guys are in high school. And how many of you think you can play pro?
Four.
You think you can play pro? He's the only one in here that thinks so? Nobody here believe they can play pro football?
This ain't the time to be modest.
Yeah, don't be modest. You got a freaking mohawk. I know you think I know you think you're something special. I am. You got to be with a mohawk, man. But you know, I'll be honest. I sat right where you guys were sitting right now. I was, in Texas, Westbury High School. I played 1 year of football in high school. I'll be honest. I sucked. I didn't know what I was doing. I think I had one sack. One sack. I really was not really a good player. But I went to college, and in college I really didn't know what I was doing either my first year. But then I just decided I was going to dedicate myself to understanding the game of football, to working hard at it. And, I guess the rest is history. After 4 years in college, ended up in Giants, second round pick. In '93 when you guys were in diapers. So who was it? All you guys, I guess you were all born in '93, I would hope. You were born by '93 then, if you were born in '89. Did you cut out something when you cut the mohawk in there, boy? Come on. But football, man, football is a great game. It is absolutely a great game. And I've gone through a lot of phases of it, from high school where I didn't understand what I was doing, to college where I didn't understand what I was doing at first. And I really learned how to play is after my first semester in college. I went back to, my parents lived in Germany, so I went back to Germany for Christmas, and I was not going back to college. I hated playing football because I didn't know what I was doing. I just didn't want to be in school anymore. I wanted to go back to Germany and just kind of chill and do nothing. And my dad, Christmas break was over, and I was still in Germany floating around the house. And my dad's like, well, shouldn't you get ready to go back to school soon? I'm like, I'm not going. I thought I was a man at that point. He looked at me again and said, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'll stay here. I'll work with you. He looked at me again and said, what are you going to do? So in other words, at that point, I realized that I had to commit myself to doing something. And first of all, school. You got to, and you can't do, if you don't do well in high school, you can't play football. College is no different. The pros is no different. I mean, the mental aspect of any level of football is the most important. It's not the guy who's always the biggest, the strongest, the fastest, who makes it. I know guys who come in training camp and they walk around looking like Hercules and lift the gym, but they can't think the game. They don't understand the game. They don't want it bad enough. Whereas you just have to. I learned that if I'm going to do it, I want to commit to it. So starting in college, and after my first semester, I decided if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be the best at it. Why do anything and not try to be the best at it? Just want to be another guy who goes out there and just gets beat up and gets beat around, gets pushed around? That was never me. And my competitive nature is that if I'm going to go play and be a defensive end, I want everybody to say, man, I want to compare myself to Michael Strahan. Just like I compared myself to Reggie White. I compared myself to Bruce Smith. Not to compare myself, but that's who I wanted to be like. And those guys were the best. So I decided in college I was going to do that. So I worked out. Man, I worked out. All the running, all the lifting, practices. I mean, didn't miss practice in college, didn't miss anything. There's nothing they could do to me that would make me stop from where I wanted to go. And ultimately it's here right now, but at that point it was just becoming a better player right at that moment. I wasn't worried about the NFL. I would hope I could have made it, but I never thought about the NFL. That was such a far-fetched thought. My thought was when I line up every day in practice and when I line up in the game, that my teammates and my coaches respect me because they know every time you play, you're going to turn on the film and they're going to understand that you're going to give a certain level. And that's the tough thing, even the pro game. When you ever seen a guy shows up, you see him play 1 week, and you're going, man, that guy's good. Look at him. Then you don't hear from him for about a month. And then next thing you know, you're like, what happened to him? He's still playing, just not doing anything. Then he'll play one more big game. We call that guy a bear. He beats up people 1 week, and then he goes into hibernation. And then he comes back out, then he goes back into hibernation. Well, the key in anything you do, and not just football, but in life, is to be consistent with it. Let everybody understand that you have a certain level of excellence that you personally have with yourself, within yourself, that you will not go beneath. If it's in practice, if it's in the game, if it's watching film, just your competitive nature, you have a certain level of expectation for yourself that's probably going to be higher than what anybody else expects of you. And if you can find that, I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing in the world. Because you'll never disappoint anybody else. Because you're never going to disappoint yourself. And I watch film sometimes of myself, and I'm like, I felt like I had a little bit more on that play that I didn't give. Guys laugh at me. OC calls me old man. OC, I want to choke him too.
You are an old man.
I'm not an old man. Watch yourself. But OC's like my little brother, 10 years younger than me, 4th year, my 14th year. And I see him, and I got to even challenge him. Like, OC, you're not running to the ball. OC, you got to lift weights after practice. First year or two, he was lazy. Just blessed with speed, blessed with strength, blessed with every tool imaginable. But he was just lazy. Didn't want to do anything extra. But once he learned that you got to take your game to the next level, and he had some success, he got addicted to it. So now, you can't outlift him, you can't outrun him, you definitely can't out-talk him. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But you know what? He plays like it every week. And you learn to respect guys like that. But I tell you, the only reason I've been able to play, as long as I've been able to play, because I love it. And I can't always say that I always loved it. I mean, I know you got those pants on that I'm dying smelling right now. From, that's more than 1 week worth of dirt right there. But I can't say that every time I've gone to practice, I've loved football. I've loved to do it. Who loves to go out there and basically get beat up every day and be sore the next day? Well, you know why? And I'll be honest with you. I look at him, he's in a knee brace, they had knee surgery. And I can't tell you how many times I'm like, man, I'm so practicing today. But then when you get hurt and you're watching, you realize there's nothing else I'd rather do. When I tore my pec 2 years ago and couldn't play for 8 games, and I'm watching, I'm thinking, forget that. I want to run through those bag drills. I want to hit those sleds. I want to do everything I can to get out there on that field. And OC was saying to me the other day, our coach is up there giving some speech, Mike Waffle, our D-line coach. And OC looks at me because I'm looking at the coach like this. And usually I'm goofing off, but I'm really into it. And OC says, you're never going to quit. You're never going to quit. I'm just looking at your face. You're never going to quit football. You love it, don't you? You love this game. You're never going to quit. And he's laughing at me. And I told him, I said, I look at it like this. One day, and this everybody in here, and this is how you have to look at it. One day, you'll never put those pants on again. One day, you'll never buckle a strap on your shoulder pad. You'll never buckle a helmet again. You're done. It's over. So up until that point, I am going to enjoy every day of it. Because there's a lot. One day I'm going to wake up and I can't do it anymore. I can't play. I'm not going to be good enough. I'll be too slow, too beat up. But until that point, I'm going to burn the candle until that sucker burns out. I'm going to enjoy every day. I'm going to enjoy playing. I'm going to run around. I'm going to hit people. And then one day I'll sit back and go, you know what? I got everything out of me that I could have gotten out of me. I have no regrets ever about playing football. And if it would have ended after my rookie year, I probably would have regretted it because I didn't have that same thing I have now, which is, you know what, do your best every day, man. Be accountable to your teammates. Before every game, I put on my headphones, and I don't care if it's the video guys, the equipment staff, the doctors, the trainers, the weight coaches, our regular coach. I touch everybody in that locker room, including all the players, because that lets them know, from me to them, or it lets me know in my mind, I'm accountable to you. The way I play today is a reflection on you. You can question me if you don't like the way that I play, because if I'm not giving you what you expect of me, then I'm not doing what the best thing for this team. So you gotta be accountable to your teammates, be accountable to yourself, and biggest thing, man, you gotta love it. There's nothing like it. When you're watching like we're watching, buddy, I want to run into some people. I want to beat somebody up. You know? I want to jump around with my teammates and ballin'. I want to do all that stuff, man. I miss balling. I miss it. So you guys, man, I wish you the best. And you know, there's no substitute for hard work. There's no substitute for desire. You can't take a shot to make yourself bigger and stronger, and that's the secret. You know, taking some pills to make yourself bigger and stronger, and that's the secret. It's not all about being big, strong, and fast. I mean, you definitely have to have some physical skill, but a lot of it has to do with what you have in your heart, and your head, and your will, and how much you really love to do this, and how much you hold yourself up, how accountable you are to yourself about your performance. So I know you guys won the first round. I'm going to get a report on the second round. All right? You know what the report better say, right? What? See, just testing. He's over here just agreeing. Yeah, like, that you won, man. And that you won, and that you used Clorox and bleach on those things. You gotta get him some. What size pants are those? Man, I'm saying some pants. 40s? 40? How old are you?
I'm 15.
15? You're 15?
Just turned 15, how old?
So that's why I'm quitting. You gotta get too big, man. How old are you?
I'm 17.
How tall are you?
6'5".
How much do you weigh?
265.
274. Don't even try it.
Wow. He's 17 years old. I only wish. I only wish. But you guys are blessed, man. And I wish you guys all the best. I thank you. Thank you, Coach, for letting me come out here and talk to you guys, and Frankie for knowing me. And you guys got any questions, man? You want to ask me anything. I don't care. It don't have to be about football. Ask me anything.
Sammy's got
Anybody have any questions for me?
Sammy,
I-
Goose's cousin.
Your Goose's cousin?
Yeah.
Your cousin's crazy, but anyway. Sammy, you got any questions, man?
No.
He wants to, every time he asks somebody, how was my cousin?
How was your cousin? You want to know how your cousin was?
Yeah.
Your cousin, overweight? Nah, I'm joking. I love your cousin. Your cousin's a very good friend of mine. And your cousin was a heck of a player because your cousin loved to play, and you could see the guys around him love playing with him. And for as big as he was, I don't know how he did it, but he was laterally, he was quick, he was a great run stopper, rushed the passer, helped Baltimore beat us in the Super Bowl because he put Rich Gannon out of the game against the Raiders, which the Raiders probably would have won. So your cousin is a great player, and he keeps flashing that freaking ring in my face every time I see him. So with that being said, I won't blow his head up any more than that. Now, you know, in high school, man, I really wasn't that big, by the way. I remember I finally, let me think, I made like 185, 195. I was eating a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and stuff. Wasn't that big. I'm not even, I mean, you good 274? You got me about 22 pounds right now. You're not as good looking. But, you know, we can't help that. That's just in my genes. I mean, you got me about 22 pounds, man. 17 years old.
We're matched up with a team. It's very similar to our team.
Uh-huh.
What can we do as a team to beat them?
Play together. I tell you, Coach, the great thing, the thing about football, anybody can beat anybody. You see it every week. Oh, this team is unbeatable, and they get beat by a team that nobody thought could beat them. And it's not so much. I learned over all my years. It's not the stars you have on your team. It's not like your main guys. I mean, it is about them. They have to play well, but everybody has to play together. You really have to want to really play for the guys that you're with. And if you do, everything clicks, everything goes, because you're not going to let your brother down. And that's how I look at our guys on our team. We're like brothers. We talk about each other like brothers, and nothing's off limits. We crack jokes. We have a good time, just like you would do at home. And that just brings you all together really close. And when you're out there, you're not going to disappoint that guy. So, and anytime you have somebody similar, knowing your opponent is probably one of the most important things that you can do. So knowing who you're going to play. Because when you know who you're going to play, it takes away a lot of the fear that you have when you go into the game. Because we watch so much film. We watch film 4 or 5 hours a day. Get there first thing in the morning, and coach is up there talking, and you're like, gotta get your coffee to wake up. We watch film then. We have a walkthrough. We come back in and watch film after lunch. Then we go out and walk through again before practice, and then we practice, and you come in and watch film again. Then they give us DVDs that we take home to watch more film. Sheets, tests that you have to fill out. And the great thing about it is, by doing all this stuff, you get to learn your opponent, know who you're playing against. And when you know who you're playing against, and if you study this guy, I can tell you by the way a guy has his foot in his, or his hand in his stance, if he's blocking out, if he's blocking down, if he's pass blocking. So when I'm in the game, I'm looking at this guy, I'm not even nervous to go against him. Because I know that I've done everything and I've worked hard enough in every way that he's just not going to blow you off the ball. I mean, nobody's going to run you over. And now that I know where he's going, I'm at the advantage, even though I'm on defense where they think they're at the advantage, because offensively guys know where they're supposed to go. And that's how you learn to play quicker and faster with more confidence. When you know your opponent, you can do that. So whenever you guys are watching film, you guys watch film? A lot of film?
As much as high school.
As much as you
watch.
can?
Yeah.
So pay attention. Learn what to watch. You know, so it's a way to watch film. You just don't watch the game. When I was young, I just watched the game. Like, man, it's a good game right here. Now I watch my opponent, my guy. I can tell you, Donovan McNabb gets under there and go, and then once he does it that time, it's coming. You know, Dante Culpepper gets under there, and once he opens up, it's coming. Jake Plummer lifts his heels like he's trying to do Michael Jackson, a moonwalk or something. So, you know, I'm watching my guy, I'm watching the quarterback. You kind of watch a little bit of everybody, but that's as you get older, you learn those things, man. But just knowing your opponent and trusting each other and playing for each other, playing as a team, that's the best advice I can give you. You guys done with me already? That's it. Now I'm telling you, don't run up on me in the street. Tell me, well, I didn't ask you when I saw you at the school. That's all you want to know? You don't want to know anything else?
Come on, man.
Come on.
What does it feel like to play in like a Super Bowl game? Like when you're there, when it's a big game. Like how do you feel personally?
That game, Super Bowl, is the whole reason I'm still playing. If I hadn't experienced the Super Bowl and thought that I had that close to the ring, I probably would have retired already, because I never would have experienced it. Because the most incredible thing you ever, it's mind blowing. You can't even comprehend it until it's over. We played that game. They introduce you, and you're thinking just don't trip coming out of the tunnel, even though you run out of that tunnel 1,000 times. You're thinking don't trip. Then you got, I think Britney Spears is at the Super Bowl, Backstreet Boys, Ray Charles, and they're all singing, and you're standing there, and the jets fly over, and they had a stealth plane that flew over. It was silent, man. This thing was huge. And the game was over, and I opened up the hotel room next door, and there's a newspaper, Ravens win. I'm like, we never even played. That's just how quickly the game, how you were just in such a trance. It's something I want to get back to, because I'd be able to handle it better, because it wouldn't be over my head. But the first time you're there, it is over your head. It's really hard to comprehend everything. But nothing like it. There's nothing like playing in front of 70,000, 80,000 people, man. And you come out of that tunnel and they're screaming, you make a play, they're screaming. And just that, it's addictive. And that's why it's hard for a lot of guys to quit when you think they should quit. You know, now Tiki's like, I'm retiring, everybody's like, whoa! Because, you know, he's smart enough to realize at some point he just had enough. But, you know, if you've ever been in that situation, very addictive to be, you know, with that atmosphere. And no better place than New York to do it.
I try to tell these guys, this could be this could be their last game, last 2 games.
Yeah.
And then, you know, some people that you've played with that are finished, maybe they come back to you and say, hey man, I wish I could have just played harder that last game. I wish I just could have, you know, or I just missed it, or, you know, that's why I always tell them, don't leave anything you doubt. Go out there and give it all you got.
Exactly.
I want them to know how important it is the last 2-3 games. You know, don't shortchange your teammates and just play as hard as you can, and leave it on the field.
That's it.
Then there's no crying, and there's nothing that you can do. You can't be upset. You can't be mad. You just, after the game, it's all on the field. You just leave it there.
2 of my best friends, I've you know, over the course of my career. One I see quite a bit now. He's been a lot of games. Jesse Armstead. But Jesse would come out and play for free right now if he could. Plain and simple. And the other guy, Wayne Quebec, who I just saw this weekend, Wayne would pay you to play. Plain and simple, because it's over. And when it's over, you can't go back. Like I said, one day is going to be the last time it could be the last time, I mean, one of these next games or 2 that you put these pads on for your life. So don't ever have any regrets that you didn't do your best. So, I mean, that's always the way I look at it, because you can see I twist my foot just trying to run over this side of the field, and first thing came to my mind, that's it. I thought I broke it. This is it. My career is over. Is that how it ends? Nothing dramatic? No drums? And that's it. It truly just, it's over. And how would I feel that walked off that field that day, and that would have been it for me? That would have been a bad feeling, man, because I just didn't finish it the way that I wanted to finish. You can never judge by getting hurt or anything like that, but I mean, some of you guys just won't go on and play after this. And if that's the case, do your best now. You got a week or 2 to do it. Have fun with it, man. I mean, first 3 games, we're out there, you know, snuck by the Eagles, but we're getting beat like a drum. And then all of a sudden, we wake up. We woke up because we decided to have fun. We stopped worrying about everybody else's expectations because we knew if we played together, we were a great team. So we just started having fun with each other. That's where the whole balling thing came. That's why a guy makes a play and we're slapping him on the head and butt and everything else. Just like, hey, what do we have to lose? We're a bunch of kids, a bunch of grown men playing a kid's game. And we're getting paid for it. A lot of money. So can't beat that. And once we start having fun, we start winning. That's just how you got to look at it, all right? So have fun this weekend, and just do your best, man. If you do that, who wants that trophy at the end of it all? We're not in here wasting our time, so that's what you're going for, man. You just got to believe you can do it, and you'll be fine.
All right, Coach. Now you get Mike back down.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys, man.
These coaches over there.
Nick, you have your shirt you want to sign
Mike,
real
take a
quick?
picture for a second.
Yeah.
Coach, take a picture.
Who do we have this weekend, Coach?
Put Mike behind you.
Yeah.
Move over.
Put it up in there. Throw it up in there. There you go.
Oh, guys, that's good.
Real
man right here.
Turn sideways. Turn sideways. Like this.
All right, we're going to do a serious picture. Come on, serious. Not serious looks, man. You got to smile on your pictures. Now, all you guys who think that you're intimidating when they show you a team picture, you like, you're not scared.
You ready?
That was German. You're smiling? You're smiling, man.
There you go.
All right, now you get to do whatever you want to do. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
You going to take another one?
I'm taking it on. Of course I am.
All right. We're good.
We're good.